All right, walk and talk follow-up video to the previous one where I talked about due process again. I wanted to do this in video form because I feel like it's important. There was a very common right-wing response to that video, and it's something that I know they're getting from like major outlets like Fox News, Newsmax, and right-wing YouTubers are doing it too. And that's the idea that only American citizens are granted constitutional rights. This is completely false. I mean, this is fake news, which coming from the people who screamed fake news for years, I find ironic. But if you look into the Constitution, it doesn't say that only citizens get rights, constitutional rights, like due process. It says all persons living within the United States, that the government is not allowed to basically hinder your right of happiness within reason. So, there's a couple people who regurgitated their talking point and said, Matt, only citizens get due process, just very confidently. And what I did was I copied and pasted the Constitution from a Google search that explains, what it says in the Constitution. It explains the amendments that back that up, and not a single one of those people came back and went, oh, I didn't know that. Literally, deflection. A couple of them went, LOL, you copied and pasted that from Google. So, had I typed it out myself, would that have been better for you? Like, what are we talking about? Like, oh, LOL, you went and completely proved me wrong. Yeah, I did. Here's the thing that bugs me so much. If you don't think that citizens, or that only citizens, should have constitutional rights, I mean, it's your opinion, that's fine. But that's not the way it works. That is not the way that our country is set up. If you want that to change, well then, get the Republicans to change it. Get them to do an amendment. Get them to amend the Constitution. They would need basically like a supermajority to do that, and they don't have it, so they can't. But don't come at me and tell me, you're wrong. And then I literally copy and paste the Constitution and the amendments to you, and your response is like, LOL, lol. I mean, that's it. That's what the response was. Either you accept reality or you don't. And I for one do. I for one think that the wording of the Constitution is pretty fucking important. But I'm starting to see a big movement here now in the United States where the Constitution doesn't mean anything anymore to people. There's a good portion of people who have now decided that it's stupid, it's wrong, or they live in this reality where it's whatever I say it is, even though you literally copy and paste it and show them why they're wrong and prove your point, and they just continue to work around it. No, you're just lying. I have been called a liar on that too. If you live here, the government is not allowed to just fuck with you with no reason. They have to prove why they want to fuck with you. And if they just unlawfully come after you with no cause at all, you're allowed to be seen by a judge. That's all there is to it. You're not allowed to have any type of sentence put down on you. You're not allowed to have any type of punishment by the government without due process. You are allowed to see a judge. You are allowed to get your day in court. You're allowed to speak your case. Do you guys really want to live in a country where the government just has full control and they just say whatever goes? They just say, oh, no, this guy's a bad guy. That's it, done. Really? Really? Again, I can't stress this. For years, the conservative side, rightfully so, did not trust the government and talked about how government overreach is bad and how we need to have accountability, and they just don't trust it. And it has to prove its case. And now that they have full control and they've got a guy in charge who doesn't believe in that, now they're just like, oh, never mind, we don't care about that. We don't care about that anymore. It's the most important thing we have. It is the main thing that makes us different from Russia, from China, from all of these other places that don't have democracy. And if you give it away, I promise you, Maybe it's, right now you're you're smooth sailing. You're doing great. I'm getting everything I want. That will change. This will affect you personally. This will hurt you, and you will bitch, whine, and moan about it, but it will be far too late. I think it's much better to just accept that everybody should be allowed to have their day in court and see a judge and be proven to have broken a crime than to just put your blind faith into an institution that you mistrusted for decades. Enough of this garbage, dude. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. Like, if somebody broke the law and they're here illegally, I have no problem with booting them out. I don't. I think that there's exceptions. Like, if people have been here for like 10 plus years and they've been paying taxes the whole time and they've never broken a crime, I think we should just make it easier for them to become a citizen at that point. They've already proven that they have every ability to be here and be a decent human being and a good American. But like, yeah, I don't care, man. If they put a guy up in front of a judge and he just goes, "You're not supposed to be here," and they boot him, all right. Okay. But like, goddamn, man, stop blindly following this current administration. Due process is important. Your constitutional rights are important. And I can't wait for the comments from the people who are vague and just cannot put any type of argument together, that are just going to go, "Oh, wow, more misinformation." Like, tell me why. What am I saying that I've literally linked you guys the Constitution, what it says, and you still go, "Nah, fake news." God damn, man. Some people just want a dictatorship so bad. They want no rights. They just want to do whatever Daddy Orange says. And it's like, God damn, I don't want him to have those powers. I don't want Biden to have those powers. I don't want Newsom if he runs. I don't want any future administration, any form or iteration of our government to ever take away our due process, to take away our rights, to take away our ability to defend ourselves. Because you're just asking for a dictatorship at that point. I don't give a fuck if it's a leftist, on the right, independent. I don't care. It's important. This is what makes our country awesome. God damn, too many people just giving their rights away. Like, lol. Jesus. All right, see you later.